Hi there, you found Queen V Crafts, my channel all about my crafting life. My name is Eve, my pronouns are she, her, and today is Flosstube episode number 22. Today is the 30th of March, 2025, and I am really excited to be back and chat with y'all about how my March went. I have quite a bit to chat with y'all about. I know I was saying I wanted to do these every month because 2 to 3 weeks felt too much, but now the amount of things that I have to show y'all after a month is a lot, so maybe we'll reevaluate. So let's just go ahead and jump in. I've got finished some starts, more starts than I planned to do, and some things that I just worked on that were previous starts, so works in progress or whips. Then I'll chat plans, things that I've acquired, and some other fun stuff that I got up to this month. So let's just jump right in. Finishes first. I have one finish. It is the newest release from Elizabeth of Frizzy Lizzie Stitches. I stitched her Crafty Goose. I absolutely adore this. So I think I had posted this on my Instagram saying I didn't know whether or not I wanted to do the border or if maybe I wanted to add like a little charm or something here. But until I decide that, or if I decide anything further at all, if it might just stay like this, she's done. So I stitched this one on 18 count Neptune from Millennial Fabrics, 2/1. The Goose is white or 3865 and like 720 or something for the feet and beak. And then She's a Girl is stitched in Classic Colorworks Blue Corn, and Crafty is in a DMC Light Effects, and I absolutely love how cute and sparkly that word Crafty is, how cute this goose is. I don't know what I was thinking doing it in the center of this giant piece of fabric. So, this is silly, but it's done. So, there she is. Crafty Goose. Alright, I have to decide. For the first time, I took all of my projects out of their project bags and like laid them flat in order, but I have no idea where I'm going to put them. We're just going to toss them on this table over here, and hopefully the giant pile doesn't fall. Alright, let's talk about my new starts. So the first start that I had was the Forbidden Fabrico Empyrean Sal. This started the end of February, I want to say, when it was released, because we got the pre-stitching. But I ordered the kit, so I had to wait until my kit arrived to start it. So here is where I am so far. And I'm going to move this thread out of the way. So if anyone is a Fourth Wing fan, this is inspired by that series. I am, like all of my mystery stitch-alongs, woefully behind. They have released 3 parts now, so yeah, plus the pre-stitching. So I'm like not even done with that. So I've been working on this occasionally, but like most of my mystery stitch alongs, I am just decided that I don't care. And they will get done at some point, but I'm not beating myself up for not keeping up with a cell. So there's that one. This is all of the kits, so I chose 40 count. The fabric is called Feathertail, and I'm using the Forbidden Fiber Co. Flosses 1/2. And there is the Empyrean cell. All right, my next start is for my round robin that I'm doing with the Millennial Fabrics Facebook group. We're stitching Rosetta. I have Suzette's piece now, and I have just a very small start along here. Let me grab the piece that tells me what the fabric and stuff is. Where? Is it not in this pile? There it is. Okay, so Suzette is stitching this on 32 count Vanilla Bean. She says it's a Millennial Fabrics fabric, but I haven't heard of that in Sarah's collection, but I could be mistaken. We're using one strand and stitching over 2, so it is very lacy and pretty. I chose to use a Karen Water Lily, which is this really pretty purple to green variegated. It's called Distant Hills. So there is my start on Rosetta. And I was supposed to have this done to ship out like last weekend. That's not happening. I'm going to put my focus into that one this coming week so that I can get it out hopefully next weekend. So yeah, there is Rosetta. Next up is a start that I did for Samantha, the Kansas City Stitcher's birthday. She said, birthday Sal, stitch anything colorfully, Sarah. So I picked out Flower Beez, which is basically just the Minecraft bees. I'm having to like readjust because this is the first time that I've ever gridded a project with thread. So it looks a little crazy, but here is Flower Beez. I dyed this 16 count Ada myself, using neon green and aqua. And I like over dyed it a little bit with some rose quartz, I think. So it's got, if I hold it back here, you can kind of see it in more places, a little bit of this brown, pinky tinge to it. So there is my first bee started. I love the Minecraft bees. Every time we see, when I say we, I mean me and my husband, when we see something with the Minecraft bees, we immediately are like add to cart because we love them so much. So we have quite a collection of different Minecraft bees. So this will be hung above the little collection we've got going. So, and this one I don't think I said, I'm using the called for DMC and stitching 2/1. So, B. It's so much fun. And I gridded this one predominantly so like I could stitch one color if I wanted to. I don't know, you can't really see it that well, but these flower stems have the most stitches in that color. So, trying something new. Not sure I like it, but I gotta try things to be able to figure out whether or not I like them or not. So, anyways, last start. This one I actually started this past weekend for Lindy Stitch's Nash Stash Startathon. I have to say it slowly because otherwise all of those run together. I was originally going to start Strawberry Goose Witch, but long story short-ish, it wasn't included in my pre-order shipment at first because it wasn't given to the shop that I pre-ordered from. So they're waiting for it to come in and then they will ship it to me. So I picked out instead Strawberry Milk from Annie B's Folk Art. I took like 3 hours on this past Thursday night trying to figure out colors because I decided to do mine on pink. So instead of the colorful neutral, I wanted to do this one on a pink fabric, so I needed to find pinks that would work, and I absolutely love how this is coming so far. So I am using 40 count toe beans from BeStitchMe, and I'm stitching 1/2, and since I had to do so many switches for colors, I'm going to put that conversion up on my Instagram, so check out the highlight reel over there of the color conversions that I've done, and I will, it's a 1-for-1, so I will include that. But look at this cow. Oh, I love him. So perfect. I absolutely love it. This pink fabric is giving me life. I'm not usually a pink fan, but I absolutely love this. And I got really far on it this weekend. Like, that's kind of crazy to do this many stitches in 2 days. Like, it makes me motivated to pull out some of my smaller pieces and just work on them until they're done, because obviously I can stitch a lot if I focus on one thing and not jump around. So that's Strawberry Milk. And those are all my starts. Let's talk about my whips. So the first one is my Stardew Valley map, full coverage. I pulled this one out because of Marjorie Maid's Pick-A-WIP. I posted on my Instagram asking, hey, what projects should I work on this month, since the prompt was friend pick. So I put up there saying, what should I work on, and here's my whip list, and I got a few responses for this one, so I was like, okay, let's go ahead and do it. And then after pulling it out for Pick-A-WIP, I decided that I wanted to start stitching on this one pretty much daily in a version of temperature stitching that I first saw from Jessie Marie Does Stuff. And then when I was watching Andy, the Crow Stitcher, they had kind of adapted their temperature stitching to be for one piece and using the temperatures for the amount of stitches. So, long story, you want to see the project. Here is the full of Stardew Valley, and I'll try and move so that I can put up a picture of where this was before. It looks a little crazy because of the parked threads, but there's a method. So I decided that I wanted to figure out if it was any better the way that I stitch in the diagonal to not stitch from this corner anymore. So I popped to all the corners. You can see work in the bottom corners there, and then this top corner. I've decided that stitching from the, what is this, top right hand corner down is my favorite for the way that I make my stitches and then can park. So I have been working now more in this top right hand corner, but here it is in full because I was working in the top left hand corner. This is 16 count easy grid, and I'm using 2 strands over 1 with the Call for DMC, and I am pulling this out pretty much every day, so it's staying in a Q-snap, it's staying on my stand, and I'm stitching the amount of stitches that correlate to the low temperature that's predicted for the week. So today I will write out every low temperature that's predicted for this coming week, and I will stitch on this pretty much every day unless I put in like a lot more stitches the previous day, so that I, you know, it's been in probably the 60s at night here, at least the past couple of weeks. So I've been putting like 60, 65 stitches in every day, and I've done like 500 or so in the past week and a half. So it adds up, and this project really wasn't getting a lot of work, and now it is. So hopefully, like, my goal on this one is to at least get to 50% by the end of the year, and I think that's doable. Let me check my pattern keeper really quick. I'm at 20% now, so if I keep up with the daily stitching on it, I think that I can get to 50% by the end of the year. So there is my Stardew Valley map. Okay, Quaker of Hearts is up next. This one was called for both numbers of WIPCO in March. So I worked on this one on and off like the whole month so that I could get over 1,000 stitches in on it. I was here the last time that I showed it, and it is here now. So, is this better if I adjust my light like that? This one is now the full height and the full width. So you can see it is not very big. It's a little guy. And this is my first Quaker piece. I'm enjoying it, but I don't think I'll do another. At least not one that's like full Quakers. It's not my favorite type of stitching. So this was one of the ones that I started last year. Like, I just wanted to try a bunch of different things and see what I like. Quakers is not it for me. So I will finish this one, and I'm excited to then get it framed. This one has my husband and I's initials and our wedding year on it, so I can't wait to display this one. I don't think I mentioned this fabric is 36 count, I think, Winter Moon. Yeah, from Zweigart. And I'm using 1 strand of Classic Colorworks Ribbon Red, and I'm stitching over 2. Yeah, that's all I have to say about this one. There's Quaker of Hearts. Alrighty. Next up is the MLK sampler from Stone Street Stitchworks. I think I pulled this one out because of a challenge. Let me look at my book here really quick. Yeah, so I was trying to fill in the Crafts and Books Acrostic, which the word was shamrock, for March. So I pulled this one out for the letter M because it hadn't been worked on this year, and I don't think really since January of 2024. So here it was the last time that I showed it and where I got to. I'm stitching this one with the Call for DMC on 36 count vintage country mocha and using one strand over two. I got the whole border done, so now it's just a matter of filling in the inside. This is another one that's really little. Like, I don't know what I was doing cutting my fabric so large, but there's that one. Hopefully we'll work on this one once more again this year, get a little bit more in, but it's looking really cool so far. This is another one that I don't think I would stitch something like this again. I'm not a huge, like, sampler style stitcher, so again, learning things, and my cat has decided to say hello, so I apologize for background noise. Next up is Springbird from Heart and Hand. This one I pulled out on the spring equinox, which was its birthday, and I am so close to finishing it. I should have just stuck with it and finished it. Here's where it was the last time and where I got to. All that's left is filling in that egg. And then it'll be done. So honestly, maybe I'll keep this one out and stitch on it today and get some more in on that egg, and maybe tomorrow, and maybe I'll finish this before the end of March, and then I'll have 3 of the 4 seasonal birds done, and then I just have autumn, and that one barely has a start on it. So maybe I'll use that one for a challenge in April so that I can get it closer to a finish, and then maybe I can finish it in September. So there's Springbird. I love him. He's on 36 count platinum, 1/2 with some called for, some uncalled for. I love him. I love all these birds, to be honest with you, though. Like, if I had to stitch one designer for the rest of my life, it would be Heart and Hand. I love them. Oh boy. Cats are going crazy. All right. Next up is We Remember from Plum Street. I really don't think I worked on this one that much. It's one of the ones that I would like to try and finish by Memorial Day, so May. I'm trying to find my card for it. There it is. I was here the last time that I showed it, and the thread over that side. I am here on it now. This is 40 count espresso from R&R. I'm using the Caliber DMC, but the Fancy Floss I did make substitutions for, and I think I've already included that on my Instagram. If not, I will make sure to do that. Yeah. I need to pull this one out in April and get a good chunk done on it because it's already almost April, which is crazy to me. And then I'll have to have this one done before, it's Memorial Day, May 23rd, somewhere in there. So even if I need to stitch a little bit left on it, the beginning of May, I can still pull that off. I don't plan on fully finishing this before Memorial Day, so as long as I get it fully stitched, I am happy. So there is We Remember. And the last piece that I have to show you is Moon Moth. This is a free chart you can get off of the DMC website. It's actually my second time stitching this one because the first one I cut my fabric weird, so I was only able to include the very center motif. But this second attempt, this is where it was last time, and here is where I am now. So I only added a little bit. I added, I think, just these three motifs. The beginning of the star border, and it looks so good. This was another one that I pulled out for Pick-A-WIP. I don't remember if I said that because I have the brain the size of a pea. For Marjorie Maid's Pick-A-WIP. I obviously need to do these more often because I've forgotten how to Flosstube. The other prompt was dark fabric or dark floss, so this one I pulled out for that, and then I also included it in I Spy, I think. Did I? No, just Pick-A-WIP. So there's that one. That's all I have to show you of projects. Let's chat really quick about the games and things that I got up to in March. So I Spy, the prompts were golden color, starts with A, shaped like a piece of pie, 4 repeating elements, represents time, starts with the first letter of your middle name, spring-like, seen in a Dr. Seuss book, not water but the color of water, and seen on a parade float. So I wasn't able to get the first two, but for shaped like a piece of pie, I used Quaker of Hearts because a lot of those Quaker motifs remind me of like the lattice top of pie, so that's what I used for that one. Then I wasn't able to get anything stitched for 4 and 5, but starts with the first letter of your middle name. I used the Empyrean cell. My middle name is Elizabeth, so starts with an E. Spring-like, I used Springbird. Seen in a Dr. Seuss book, I used Strawberry Milk because a pink cow just kind of screamed whimsical to me. Not water but the color of water, I used Crafty Goose because of that beautiful blue fabric. And seen on Parade Float, I used Rosetta because of the flowers. Then the Crafts and Books acrostic, for S I used Stardew Valley. H was Heart and Hand Springbird. A was Annie B's Strawberry Milk. M is the MLK sampler. R is Rosetta. I wasn't able to get anything for O, but for C I used Colorfully Sarah, the Flower Bees, and I wasn't able to get anything for K. So let's chat about my plans for April, because that kind of ties in. I plan on doing WIP Go, I Spy, and the Crafts Books Acrostic again. WIP Go numbers were called, and they are 4, which is No Time Like the Present for me, and 10, which is Candy. So I will try and get close to 1,000. If it's only at 700 or so stitches, I will call that good. But I do want to try and work on each of those for 5 days. And that's what WIP Go will be. I don't know the Pick-A-WIP prompts yet. I don't know the I Spy prompts yet. And I don't know the Crafts and Books word yet. But I do want to try to stitch on one of the mystery stitch-alongs that I have going each month so that I can try and move them along. So I did put them all on a picker wheel, and I'd like to spin that right now to determine what sal I work on for April. Let's do this. Alright, so here is my wheel with all of my sals on it. Let's go ahead and hit the right buttons and see what I'm going to be working on for April. Ooh, Quarter Crows. This one is a current ongoing stitch along hosted by Fine Frog. And I don't even have the frames done yet, and the first release has come out. So, actually, the second release came out also. So, I will stitch on Quarter Crows predominantly in April, and we'll see where I get to at the end of the month. And I do have my little calendar set up for my temperature stitching, so I will put in the lows here shortly and be able to figure out how many stitches I need to do in that week or each day. Well, I'll put each day and then total them up. So like if I do more stitches one day, I don't have to go up. It makes sense to my brain. And once I know what the I Spy and Crafts and Books and Pick-A-WIP prompts are, I will fill those in and get ready to stitch some fun stuff in April. Alrighty. Let's chat about things that I have purchased. I don't have a ton. Oh, before I do that, I do have one more plan. The next Lola Crow stitch along is starting in April, and I am waffling on fabric, so I want to run this by y'all too. I have the called for fabric, which is 36 count sandbar from BeStitchMe. Let me open this all the way up because it's a beautiful piece of fabric. Ta-da. So that's the called for. So I could do it on that, no problem. But I also have 36 count A Little Sassy from BeStitchMe. And this one's definitely more blue than like the teal color that sandbar is, but also with brown modeling. And I like this one a lot. I could go totally neutral and do Sand Dollar, also 36 count. Or total opposite direction, this is part of haul, I was able to purchase some fabric from BeStitchMe's spring ready to ship collection, and this is 40 count Luna Moth. Flosses work on all of these, so I am curious what everyone thinks. So if you watch this and you have an opinion, leave down in the comments, please, which color. I'm not gonna be able to hold all these together, but I'm gonna try my darndest. I should do Extraordinary Birds on. Sandbar, A Little Sassy, Sand Dollar, or Luna Moth. Let me know. Alright, now we can transition into acquisitions. You already saw Luna Moth. I got 2 other 40 count fabrics from BeStitchMe in that spring ready to ship. This is Beehive. So pretty. And this is Lotus. Love them. Beautiful. Need to stop buying fabric. Actually, I paused my fabric of the months because it's just becoming a lot, so I'll probably start them back up in June once my financial situation stabilizes a little bit and, you know, I use some of these fabrics in projects. Then I also got my March threads from Thread the Needle and Athena Stitching Goddess Designs. There is who it's inspired by and the colors in here. There those are. Love. Beautiful. Putting them in my stash today. Alright, I'm gonna try not to crinkle this bag too much. But every second Saturday, I go and stitch at 3 Stitches, which is my local needlework store. Just threw floss on the ground. And I will pick out 5 new to my collection classic colorworks and 5 new gentle arts. So there's the next 5 for classic colorworks and the next 5 for gentle art. And then I have to show you my Millennial fabrics. The last fabric of the month that I got was February. They were running a little bit late on their fabric and thread of the month because of Nashville, and I totally get it. Like, it happens. So fabric for February. I don't know, I switched to 40 count and getting a fat eighth. Here is February. It's called Mint Julep. So that one's really pretty. And then my floss from them, the Classic Colorworks, Jelly Roll, Creeping Jenny, tartan plaid, frosted sage, and candied yams. So these ones together are so springy. I love them. Like, that's such a good palette. Ooh, so good. And then from Gentle Art, this bag doesn't want to open. Shutter Green, Bittersweet, Mint Jubilee, Island Blue, and Cherry Bark. So I am excited to add these to the collection and use them in projects. All right, Nashville. So I did make pre-orders for Nashville Needlework Market. I went a little bit overboard. I'm gonna take these out, hold on. So I went a little bit overboard, but there were some designs that I just couldn't pass up. They were so perfect. We'll go through them now. My hair does not want to stay. Alrighty. First things first, I got the new colors from Classic Colorworks. They are called Apple Cider, Green Tea, and Sparkling Rosé. I didn't realize they were all drinks. That's kind of funny. They're beautiful. Absolutely love. And then I got the new Gentle Arts as well. These are a little much. Especially this green. Chestnut, eggplant, cerulean, and key lime. Like this green, oh my gosh. I think they're fantastic. And my pile keeps wanting to slide out of my lap. So yeah, the new Gentle Art colors are great. Love, 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 love. Patterns. I, for the first time, bought the cookbook, so I'm excited to stitch some smalls out of here and try some of the recipes in here as well. I'm excited. Some of these things sound really good. I'm excited. So I got the cookbook. From the Blue Flower, I got Birdie Bowl. I think this is adorable, and the glare is terrible. There, that's pretty good. This one's great. Heartstring Samplery. I got Ode to Libraries. This one I think is beautiful. I don't know when I'm going to start it, but there is that one. From Robin Pickens, I got Peekaboo Birds. This fabric color choice is everything, but those little birds are so cute. Silver Creek Samplers, I got Cross Stitch Cardio and Sweeter Than Honey. I got from Heart and Hand the new Tiny Town and the Frill. And then I also got the new frill for Blooming Tiny Town. So there are those. For some reason, I could not pass up Books and Plants from Puntini Puntini. I am excited to stitch this one and display it near my bookcase. And lastly, I got two from Autumn Lane. This is the Witch's Hollow. And also Dance Party. I love them. So good. I feel like there are people that definitely bought more than me, but this was more purchases than I thought I was going to make. But it's fine. They all bring me joy, so I can't be mad about it. Last little thing, I got the freebie from Little House that comes with your Classic Colorworks colors. And I ordered all of my pre-orders from Sarah at Millennial Fabrics. They were great. This was their first time at market as a shop, so they learned a lot, and I'm excited for next year. I know that it'll just be even better, and they'll learn even more things, and it'll be great. So on that note, she was fantastic and scanned every single freebie chart that she was given and gave us access to it in a Google Drive format. So we have access to all those freebies too, and she's just fantastic, like above and beyond every time. And that's kind of all of that stuff. Maybe we'll talk a little bit of life and then I'll let you go. So first thing, I was able to do a floss live with words. I was able to do a floss live with December stitches on March 13th. If you haven't seen it already, it is on both of our Instagram pages. So go on over and check that out. It was super fun getting to chat with Mel about how I started stitching, why I stitch, some of my favorites, and doing Flosstube, how I got into doing that, and any encouragement that I had for other people. So I loved getting to chat with her. I loved getting to chat with everyone in the comments, and it was just a great time. I have been kept busy at work. I am definitely enjoying this new store. They've given me a lot of responsibility, but also it's not like more than I can handle. And yeah, it's all good. I'm still enjoying it, which is good. I am looking forward to April's second Saturday. Kat from Whittier Stitches may come down and we'll go together. She's been amazing coming and visiting me, driving like 3.5 hours down to where I am so that we can just hang out. If I pause here, I can grab the knitting that I kind of have going on. So give me 1 second, I'm gonna go grab that. Okay, so I have been knitting more on the sock that I bought yarn with Kat for. Take the cap off these needles. So here is the sock, the cuff. It's coming along. It definitely is not, I'm not a fast knitter at all, so I just have, I'm almost done with the cuff. I'll switch to the leg here shortly. I've been bringing this to work with me, so when I finish my lunches, I will knit. I usually get like 1 or 2 more rounds on my break. So that's how I've gotten most of my cuff done. I'm going to then switch and stitch the leg in Nudie Patootie. I have to decide if I want to just do a vanilla leg or if I want some texture to it. I haven't decided that yet. But yeah, there is that sock. I did cast on another sock in another colorway. This is Patent Croy sock yarn in Midnight Orchid, and I cast this one on the other night and I've just started the cuff. This one I think I am going to do a true vanilla sock. Like, I used the number of stitches to cast on. For my foot size, I'm doing the 1x1 ribbing on the cuff. The other one is a 2x2. And then I'll do probably the recommended leg rounds, and yeah, so there is that sock. Is very cute. I love this colorway. I'm excited to see if it will stripe. It's not like said that it's a self-striping yarn, but it definitely, like, I got a cream round, at least like where I did my long tail cast onto. I got a cream round and then a couple of rows of this green, and now I'm back to the cream, and that goes for a bit. Holy moly. And then it'll switch to this, pinky burgundy color, and then we stay in that color for a while. Let me switch back to cream. And then, by the way, I'm not just like pulling this out of the skein. In order to find my tail to do a center pull out of the skein, I like had to pull out so much because it was in a knot. So then we get to this like darker color, darker maroon burgundy, and back to cream, and then there's a light purple in here too. I think that's next. Yeah, this light purple. So I'm really excited to see how this one works up. And this is the mess that I am stitching from. So this one I'm just leaving out gently. That's all that I have to show you. I am really quick gonna, after this video, put my orts from this past month into my ornament. And this is something that I'm doing now, so instead of putting everything in here as I work, which is kind of annoying, I'm just collecting them in this cute little jar, and then at the end of the month, when I film these videos, I'm going to add to them and start the month with a clean jar. So that's everything that I have to show you guys. I'm really excited for April. We'll see whether or not I wait until the end of the month to come back and film, or if I decide that I have just too many projects, so I'm going to come back sooner. So regardless, you'll either see me at the end of the month or sooner. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I so love talking about stitching with you, and it's always such a fun time. So I will leave you there. Have a great April if I don't see you until the end, and until next time, happy stitching.
Just as surprised as you.